back to Explore Your Story, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here and you have not visited my channel before, hi, you're very welcome. My name is Gill D'achada and I'm leading us in the spiritual adventure at this time. If you would like to know more about it, I have put the links to some blog posts that tell you more about it in the description box below, so just go and have a look at those. And also for you regular adventurers, I always remind you that there's a corresponding blog post that goes along with this video, and I've put the link in the description box below, so you can just go along and have a look at that as well. Also, don't forget to leave your comments below this video, and also to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. 2 weeks ago we started looking at 3 things about the Jesus I met that are also found explicitly taught in scripture, and that I thought would be very, very interesting for you to just take a deeper look at. So today we're continuing with that, and we're going to look at the third thing. The first thing that I told you about was that Jesus is the way, and I explained to you how he had personally escorted me into the presence of the Father, and how he had personally been the one to take me to heaven that first time. And then the second thing that we looked at, the second aspect of the Jesus I met, that is so profoundly outlined for us in the scriptures, is that Jesus is the truth. And I told you how when he spoke to me, I was so aware that I'd never heard the truth before. Before the moment I heard Jesus open his mouth and say something, I had never heard the truth. And today we're going to look at the third thing, which is, of course, that he is the life. And these 3 aspects of himself, Jesus actually taught his followers in one short sentence one day, when it was just before he was getting ready to go to the cross and to be taken back up to heaven. And his followers were getting wind of this. They were getting worried that he was going to go, and they were getting worried that they wouldn't know how to get to where he was going. And he in essence said to them, don't worry at all, because actually the reason I'm going away is to prepare a place for you, and you don't even have to worry about how to get there, because I am the way, the truth, and the life. Such a huge and profound statement, and we can just so easily and glibly just glide over it without even stopping, really considering what is it that Jesus is actually saying. And that was what was so startling for me, you guys, when I met the Lord, and these 3 things about Jesus were absolutely paramount, to the front, unmistakable, impossible to not see, it is really who he is. And yet I had never read about it in the Bible. I didn't have a clue that this is what it said in the Bible about Jesus. But I met the real Jesus, and the real Jesus is exactly this. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Now let me tell you a little bit about how I experienced him as being the life. You know, I know that many people see salvation almost like an automated process. You put your trust in Jesus because you know he's the way, the truth, and the life. You're not 100% sure what that means, other than it's the way to salvation. So it's almost like he's a ticket to salvation. So you buy the ticket, you put your faith in Jesus, and then you know that one day when you pass on, your name has been written on that roll call on high, and the gates will swing open for you almost automatically, almost like you just popped your ticket into the turnstile on the underground, and you go through and you're in heaven. But it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. There's nothing automated about salvation at all. I don't think we can begin to grasp. Our minds cannot even go there. That's why these experiences that people have are very precious, because they open our minds. Because left to our own devices, our minds could not go to a place where Jesus, where the Father could just be giving us that undivided, emotional, personal, and intimate attention. But it's like that. You know, Jesus took me up personally. He took me into the Father personally. The Father spent, I don't know how many hours, because you're not sure what's happening time-wise, and I was a child, but forever just talking to me, showing me stuff, relating to me, and intimately and personally sharing his heart with me. The great and awesome God. So this is far more a good picture of salvation than this kind of automated idea that we have. don't just make the mistake of thinking that this is only believers that God feels this way about. No, every single human being on earth was made by God and is incredibly precious in His sight. But how much more so His very own children, the redeemed, the ones who have been bought with His blood. They are very precious. There is an intimacy and a personalness about God Himself and about the way He interacts with His children that we don't partake of nearly enough. We need to open our hearts, open your heart today to that intimate, loving, caring God. You know, when Jesus took me in there, He took me in with joy, with delight, with a real love and tender care. And that is how I was received by the Father, with joy, with delight, with the real love, with tender care, and with a knowing, like the knowing you would have that intimate love that you would have for your children, only multiplied. You know how you feel about your children, you know how you feel about your grandchildren. Well, that's God, how God feels about you, only multiplied. So you can imagine as a child, I'm going in and out of that atmosphere all the time. I'm going into the presence of the Father. I'm receiving this love, I'm receiving this love. I'm receiving the atmosphere of heaven. And it began to change who I was on the earth. Before my encounters with the Lord and my travels and trips in and out of heaven, I remember being a very confused child. Everything seemed murky and dark. I never knew what was going on. I was the youngest. So people would plan things. I would catch on only after we were there already. So I was always confused. Where are we? What are we doing here? Why am I here? And I was kind of miserable also. I wasn't very happy. But, oh my gosh, under the influence of heaven and under the influence of the Father and everybody there, I just became this very confident, very glowing child. And if I could show you, I'll see if I can find a picture of myself and I'll put it up here on this video at that time, and you'll see, you will pack out laughing, because I'm literally like, I'm just so happy, so confident, so full of myself. Amazing, like the queen of the world without being arrogant, just knowing who I am, knowing that I'm loved by the Father. And that was life. That life, which is also like the love of God. It's almost like the life essence is the love of God. It just began to fill me and fill me and fill me and change me and bless me and give me confidence, give me everything I needed. It began to flow out of me. And conversely, when we left Hout Bay and we went to Sea Point and I was separated from God and I wasn't going up to heaven anymore, and I'd been disobedient and I was not in the church, I began to experience death. The life receded and death came, and I ended up in a depressed state. But of course, the most explicit way in which I experienced Jesus as the life was where I write about that whole story. And I think it's in chapter 29. And I write about the story of my near death and how I began to plan my suicide, and how I then found myself in the grip of the spirit of death. Now, it's quite strange to me that we think of death as being a state of being, but I really experienced death as a person, as a spiritual being in that time. And death really had an insatiable desire for me and wanted to drag me in and wanted to pull me into a horrible place from which there would be no return. And as I wavered there in that waiting room, as it were, in the anteroom of death, that is a place from which Jesus came to get me. He came to get me from that prison. I couldn't get out. Nobody could have got me out there. Nobody had the keys to death except the life. And this is what we need to understand. It's absolute, guys. It's absolute. There is no way out of death or to escape death other than if the life gets you out of there. The life got me out, because He is life. He is life. Just like truth is a person, so life is a person. And of course, that person is God. Do you realize that we live off God? That this whole planet and every other planet and all the universes and every life form that there is, seen and unseen, lives off God. There's no life apart from God. God is the life. And the amazing thing that people cannot grasp is that this is a person. A person. The beauty of it all, guys, is the personalness of our God. I'm going to see you next time. Avanti.